matrícula. Ella comparte amiga, dice que todo se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and I got a lot of energy right now, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, of course, Eastern Standard Time. Wherever you guys are at, I appreciate you guys joining in with me. I am trying a new system, trying a new computer, actually trying to multi-stream across a bunch of platforms, and yeah, as I do this, I'm noticing that it's not coming up on the other platforms. So I kind of wonder, what am I paying for with some of these services? So you might have to put up with a little bit of silence and stuff. But if you talk, I'll try to talk about what you guys are speaking about. But we got in here Vinny Hagen. Let me see. I'm gonna bring up your guys' stuff because I'm still testing. I got Chris May in here. Hope the system works great. I'm in the market myself, so I feel you. I have to build a PC. Story of my life. That is correct, man. I built this. I don't want to say I built it. I had somebody else built it. I am way beyond building computers like I was back in college. I did it with a couple of roommates, and one of my friends, Ben. We ended up making one out of a milk crate. That was really cool. He definitely showed me some stuff right there. But anyways, let's continue on. Of course, we have Clemente is in here talking about Dalvin Cooks, and I believe that's the number 20, right? He's taking Tony Pollard's previous number. So I mean, there was a couple of guys that were thinking maybe 44. People were talking maybe 33. But I think I get really touchy when I talk about 22, 33 about running backs, especially if you didn't start your career here. There's no way you're going to come in here and get that number. But anyways, as we continue on, let's see. Primetime, you demand. Thank you, Mike. Roro. Love the intro song. Thank you. My little brother sings it. If you ever come across that song, I am at the very end of the song, rapping in English as a younger guy. It's a little bit embarrassing. That's why I only cut the one part in for them. Full putting in those Miami vibes. Yeah, we're down here, South Florida, of course. We have the weather outside, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. And I say cold in the sense of the 70s, but right now we're just getting rain. And so that's where we get the coldness from. So I am actually going to see, because I'm supposed to be also broadcasting on Twitch. So I am going to see if I am over there. I am hearing something on the other side, but I guess that was just, I don't know. I am trying to go to mine, see if we can find it, but I can't seem to find my page here. Primetime, are you going with the guys to AT&T for the Eagle? Yes, I am. I already have my plane ticket May purchased, whatever you want to call it. Brian's got a lot of the accommodations going. I am ready, man. I'm pumped to see a lot of you that are going to be coming as well, too. So, I mean, to put faces with names, that's going to be great. I definitely love playing, talking football. And even if it's, like I said, with the trash talking that we've been having on Game Time's side, I even love that, man. I look forward to meeting you. This is the family outside of the family. You know how that is. Where even when you're talking trash, there's nothing but love there. And you have passion for your team. I have passion for my team. Game Time. I kind of question sometimes him because he's covering every other fan base other than us. But I only poke fun, man. So let's see. My intro music was made by AI. By Riffs, is that one? I recorded on the acoustic guitar. That is awesome. Anytime that you can add your presence to it, I think it just makes it I get into the song, man, and I can kind of hear the day. I can kind of reflect back to when we were in the studio doing that. And of course, Pepe and Kiki, they pushed it up a whole other notch, and so to be able to add that to this intro, man, I love it, man. I definitely love it. Yeah, you're right, Chris May, man. It gets expensive any of that time of stuff. This time of year, man. Next month, my brother, we have a bachelor party for him, so we I rented out a whole B&B type place where he wanted to do just some guys hanging out kind of thing, and then by the time I know it, the next following month, it's just in between there's all this football. I don't know if you guys knew that the NFL season was going to start soon, but in November, then all of a sudden he gets married. Of course, you got 4th of July. Then, of course, not 4th of July. What am I talking about? Then we got Thanksgiving. And then in between there, of course, we got that Eagles game that we will be going to Dallas. I have not been to the Star. I have not been to the new stadium. So I'm looking forward to all that stuff, man. And, of course, it pops it up a notch when you're with Game Time and, of course, The Godfather. So I give credit to Game Time. I mean, he's been grinding every single day. I look at it going, man, maybe I should put in like an afternoon type of chat in there, but I don't want to step on their toes. But I do want to import some of my stuff into it. My singles, whether it's controversy, whether it's spit and fire or anything, I want to be able to leave something behind, that if my child goes to look at it, okay, my dad was an idiot, so I can deal with that. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through. And I am getting spam calls by, we're trying to invest in property as well too. So anytime, I don't know if you guys, if you've done to, put a mortgage, try to put in kind of pre-approval, all of a sudden you just get hounded by phone calls and text and emails of people that are trying to take that business. And it's a little bit, disconcerting in the sense that how they can get a hold of your information and just run with it, right? Let me see. I'm going to go on Twitch here. So, okay, we're going to put, when you go into, man, I guess nothing. They are not happy with me. So I'm going to have to go in here and try to figure out exactly where it's going on here. Yeah, touring. I do. I really want to soak it all in. It's just something I haven't been able to do. Why is my channel not coming up? Sorry guys, I'm gonna go a little bit silent here just because I'm trying to do some stuff here. And I don't see it on the Twitter. It's supposed to be displaying it also on X. So, okay, X. But it's not doing that as well. So, huh. Yeah, no, man, it's not doing it. So I'm wondering if by the end of it, it's broadcasting it on there. I have to kind of do this. I'll probably have to do a bunch of more stream just to get it. Yeah, I do worry about that, Dustin, in the sense of, you never know with those divisional games. Obviously, if it was New York, the Giants, you'd feel a little bit more comfortable going into those games because obviously Dak's, record against those guys. But even with his record against Philly, it's just, those divisional games, man, they can be a pain in the butt. And last year, did we win at home and they won at home, or was it was vice versa? I just know that it just sucks to put all that money into it, and you don't know what kind of outcome it's going to happen. Like that Cleveland game. I feel good about our team going into the season, but where are we matching up against a really good team? I mean, Brian gives me crap when he talks about Florida State losing last week to Georgia Tech, but if anybody has ever watched any of those Florida State games, they're very close to losing it every time to Georgia Tech and sometimes Wake Forest and Boston College. Those guys, they tend to, the rivalry games. They tend to just, they be their Super Bowl. I don't, you don't want to say that, but it's the one they look forward to. It's the trash talking they've been doing all week. So who's the CB we just signed to the practice squad? It was I saw that as well too. There was a defensive tackle, and then there was a cornerback, and I didn't look at the corner. I was it from the Vikings? Like I feel like this is going to be a thing. It's going to be like Dan Quinn in Atlanta all over again. See if I can find it here. Going through Twitter, I do remember. Maybe I have to just Google it. Cowboys signing. Let's see. So of course they're talking about the practice squad guys. Honeydews, I know about that, man. I get a plenty of those along the way. So it looks like we signed. I don't even see him. It doesn't even show the transaction here. Like it didn't show it on ESPN, but I know I saw something on a defensive tackle and a corner. So I got to do some research on that corner. There's some guys that I see. I mean, everybody has their pet cats, right? You know, as soon as you see them released from your favorite team or non-favorite team or whatever, you like, oh, I hope he comes back to the practice squad. And that's where Julius Woods, for example, I really liked him going into the season. And of course, now he's going to be a Tennessee Titan. I think that's a great place for him. It's going to, I mean, if Julius Woods was on this team, how much playing time would he be getting? Obviously, with injuries, that kind of changes everything. But even if he was on a practice squad, I think somebody's snatching him up right away. The one and only Ron the Don. I love that name. It says, Primetime, what do you think about signing Dalvin Cook? I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of Zeke. I'm a fan of... obviously, it's not young Dalvin. It's not young Zeke. But I'm going to be real with you. Like, I'm a Florida State fan, and I was always really rough on Dalvin Cook. Even at Florida State, I didn't like the way he ran. But he proved it in those basically he was part of that championship year with Winston. And so he had a lot to do with that, if I'm remembering correctly. And he ran, and I was like, okay, I don't know if it's going to transition to the NFL, but it has. He's done a great job. And can you really look at last year and go with the Jets? Well, they had a great starting quarterback and an offensive line. Well, most of the time you knew what that team was going to do. They were going to run the ball. So for a team that everybody knew you were going to run the ball mostly, he did a great job. You look back even when he was with Baltimore. Man, he complimented that. I love his vision. It'd be different if we had last year's offensive line. We just can't get any push. All those guys, Zeke's decline last year or the year before that, I have to play that more on the offensive line. I mean, we all seen him avoiding trash cans in the offseason, and when he went to the Patriots, he did pretty well. So I think it's a great compliment, because if you have Zeke go down or Cooks, you got that other guy to complement it. And then you have your speedy back and Deuce Vaughn. It's just who's going to be that other guy. I'm not a big Hunter Lemke fan, yes, but I hope he transitions into a great fullback. I mean, it's hard for me to think that he will, because I don't know, man. Like, he just hasn't shown. Like I don't know. He almost looks like he's afraid to block in there. He's more of a guy that he's going to avoid contact. If he's running, yes, he's going to barrel his nose down and get that first down. But for the most part, he's trying to avoid the tackle. So now you're putting him in a position where you got to hit every single time like a linebacker. And I don't know if that's Hunter Lemke's game, So Toro says, Amari, 6'2", 205 corner, 2009, had 8 sacks. What do you think of him with the new signing? We need help. Will McClay, I think that's going to be your guy. He's great at picking talent, and I say that with all the scouting department. I don't just put him. I put him in the main pedestal because he gets a lot of the credit. I mean, if you don't know football, you're thinking, Jerry got this talent. No, we all know about Will McClay and his talent. So when it comes to the corners, I do like what they do, but I think that deciding factor is always going to be Al Harris. Al Harris, man. He's just a coach. He's a dog. He gets you motivated and wanting to play for him, and he's not satisfied with you just doing a good job. I mean, how many times do we see Diggs, swat the ball away, and then Al Harris is in there going, dude, you got to have the interception. That's 3 points. That's a 3-point difference sometimes that they're not thinking about. I don't want them taking extra chances because this team already does a great job of trying to get interceptions, doing a good job of getting those interceptions. I just don't want them to overexert themselves, and now you're giving up large plays because let's be real. When you're a gambler, occasionally you're going to give up that big play. So here we go. Let's see. Dustin says no to Hunker. Give him some more time to develop. It's been real there. No true fullback, and that's true. I mean, he's a tailback. When I think about running backs, and I think of him as a tailback, just a guy that you can give him the ball. I loved how he played in that one preseason game that Dak was coaching, and of course, was it DiNucci? Was he playing? But I mean, was it DiNucci? Yeah, it's it gets to the point where all this is kind of dragging in together, isn't it? But I'm excited about our wide receiver room, some of the tight end stuff. I was very surprised that Hendershot went somewhere else, but I was, of course, the one that was saying that Hendershot was on that bubble. So the fact that we got value out of it, I know only a 7th-round pick, it's still value because, I mean, if you think about Eric Scott Jr. leaving, who was it? There was another guy that just left from last year's. Not Mozzie, nothing. Justin Rogers, right? Or Justin Rogers from this year. The fact that at least you get something out of it, I mean, that's big. I like that. Vinny, I like that. I don't mind Hunter being used at the tight end position. It seems like a little bit more natural fit for him. I do like that he can catch out of the backfield. That's the one thing I worry about with Deuce Vaughn because, I think Deuce can catch, and if you get him into open space, that's great, but still – that target size is so little compared to everyone else, So let me take a look here. I'm going to have to go back and definitely read on this thing to find out exactly why I'm not being displayed on some of these other places, Why is it not going? I can't even find my profile on Twitch. That's what's funny. Live channels. Let's see. Not esports games. I think it's probably because I haven't put anything in particular in there. This is not. So Vinny asked. Okay. Trying to see if you guys are asking any questions. Primetime, do you think the 12th? Oh man, I love it. I'd like it, but what are you using it for? I feel Luke Schoonmaker, is he going to actually push us out of the way and do what he wants to do and actually be a part of this team? Because if he is, I would love those two to be just destroying it, but I mean, who's your deep? You got Stevenson. I mean, he's not as great of a blocker, but he's a great receiver. You got Ford. That to me, I think he has a lot more to live up to because I mean, his college tape said one thing, his preseason said another, but he could just be a late developer, still figuring out the speed of the game. So I do like our tight ends. I like it a little bit more with Hendershot in the mix, but I mean. Unfortunately, that's going to be another guy that's probably going to be playing in a Super Bowl before we even sniff a NFC championship. I got my Law Nation thing here. I always try to support the Cowboy YouTubers in one way or another. Cowboys blog. I got to give me some Botch Lombardi stuff, and then Skywalker Steel, all those kind of guys. So. Ooh, let's see. Let me try it. I'm gonna try the Facebook one because I do have one on Facebook, and it is not displaying. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out why it's not going. Does that do anything? Nope, that didn't do anything, did it? Nope. Trying to see if these things can. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's you know, and I didn't get to see a whole lot of that, and so can he be a part of it? Yes. His body of work says that he can definitely thrive in this system because he's exactly like Ferguson. We talked about Schoonmaker. Man, Schoonmaker to me is a guy that can block, is a guy that can catch. It's just is a disappointment that we've had in him with just his availability, right? I mean, he kind of has that like, no, I don't even want to give him that high. I was going to say Sean Lee because Sean Lee was so great. Luke hasn't even gone into that realm yet. I mean, right now he's still giving us that vibes of Michigan players that just haven't done well for us. So, oh God, don't say that, Ultra Cowboy. Do not say that. Is that who's playing tonight, Colorado? I do like Dion and what he said about the fan blowing. Well, the fan blows when you're hot. I'm like, God, man, he's got the takes, don't he? Ah, man, he's got those smooth moves in the sense of talking, man. I love it. But one thing I do love, I don't know if you guys have been watching. I know some of you have Game Time's prediction on some of this stuff. I think he was a little bit nicer with the New York Giants than what I would have been. I think Giants did really good moves in the offseason. Definitely improved their team. So I can see where Game Time gets those stats from. There's some teams that me and him just don't agree on. I think Giants are going to be one of them. I am more on the Atlanta bandwagon this year than he is. He's not taking the hype on that. I think they're a good team. They put some solid guys in positions that they didn't have. I mean, Justin Simmons, of course, we're talking about health with him. Is he available all the time? And then you got some linebackers, things. They did a good job of at least getting some talent. Now, we all know that division is not the strongest. So, of course, you got Carolina that's probably going to be trying to play for that number one pick again. And Buccaneers, they're in the middle of the pack there. They can surprise you and be dangerous, but they can also just blow a game and not show up at all. And then the Saints, I think the Saints have quietly kind of gotten better. Each year, their salary cap has definitely been a lot better than what it was before. So you got to tip your hats off to them because, I mean, they just went ahead and they got Ridgeway. So, I mean, that's a very good talent right there. And I really wanted Ridgeway to come back. Yeah, not the Eagles in Dallas. He's trying to save those best for last kind of situation. But I love it. I mean, Game Time is definitely on his own, man. He's doing his own thing. He's causing his own chaos. He's stirring his own pots, man. I love it. So I know I'm going to try to get back in more into this. I am going to have to try to log off and try to see what's going on with Streamlab and see, hell, what's going on, man? Why am I not multi-broadcasting against a bunch of platforms like it said I was going to do? Maybe if I go to Streamlabs, here we go. Streamlabs, that's what Streamlabs. Only. Okay, let's go to the dashboard. I'm going to be on here, so I might get a little quiet here. It used to ask me before I would go on if I wanted to multi-stream, and I wouldn't be able to do it. Now that I can, it is messing with me. Copy or what? I have no idea what it is talking about here. Oh man, I'm sorry guys. Yeah, I love working with Game Time, man. He's he's definitely got some knowledge. I think that was the one when I was doing my YouTube channel. I wanted a partner that that wasn't just a raw guy. I wanted somebody that had facts, wasn't always going to agree with me, and that's, man, if you ever listen to any of our predictions of the games during the season, we are half and half, man. We do not agree on half of the stuff, and I think that's what makes it awesome. It's just, and then we're right half the time, so it's crazy. See, copy this. Okay, maybe that was it. I didn't see downloads. I'm gonna have to run the program, see if that does it. I agree. Okay, it's doing its thing. Let's go back to the chat. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Was there a dude working out? I believe this is his name. Yeah, I think they signed him, right? There was it's close to that name, something like that. And that's what I was trying to find. And usually, because we got a cornerback and a defensive tackle that we got into the practice squad. And I don't know if you guys heard CeeDee Lamb. He was talking about some of the young guys working with them and the lack thereof. Him doing what he was doing, we shall not talk about it too much in that sense because it's all water under the bridge. But he didn't get to teach some of these guys. I mean, one thing I love about CeeDee Lamb is that, did he get it from Amari Cooper? But his route running is just so beautiful, man. The way that he gets off the line, the way he really sets up those cornerbacks to be fooled, and he definitely pulled that from Amari's playbook. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure this out, guys. So anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through, and I'm going to cut it just so I could read up on this and figure out what the heck am I doing wrong here. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through, and I'm gonna give you a nice little closeout as well too. But if you guys, I already have just the thing set up for Saturday, so I'm hoping that that we can start predicting some stuff. I know if Game Time doesn't have his prediction stuff out there by Saturday, which I think he will, I think that might kind of hinder what he's saying and stuff too. So let's hopefully he grinds in and gets it out by that time. So anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through, guys. I appreciate everything that you do, the comments, the trash talking. But anyways, I appreciate the most is not forgetting to do what? Ring that bell.
Who are you?
Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil.
What kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And what is your name, sir?
Well, I told you my name, man.
Sir, what's your name?
It's my co-host, Game Time Brian.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I haven't relaxed. I'm ready for a wild show.
What would you say you do here?
I don't know what it is yet, but it could be a lot of things. So we'll see.
This doesn't make any sense.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Part?
Yeah, let's f***ing rage!
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't need the PBS special.
What the fuck is this piece of
Can you say what the f*** did I do last night?